Good morning, friends. This is Jelly Bean. Stay tuned because Morning Inspiration with Friends is about to start. Grab your coffee or tea and tune in as my mommy inspires you. I'm going back to sleep, but you enjoy the message.
He's actually outside making noise. Well, good morning, everyone. It is your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. We're here with another episode of Morning Inspiration with Friends. Remember, we do this every Monday to Friday, 7 a.m.-ish. If you put those notifications on, they will let you know when I'm here. So you might just miss the intro. But every Monday to Friday, bringing inspiration, just trying to get everyone to activate their purpose, start tapping into them gifts that they have, build and establish that relationship with God, and just have fun while we are having these conversations. These are real life conversations. But yeah, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below because it helps. Commenting also helps reach more people so that others will know that I am here, so that they too can get that inspiration that they need to go out there and do the amazing things that they're called to do. So if you know someone that might need some, hit them up right now. Let them know to come on over, be a part of this family. We have a whole playlist. We've been going live with Morning Inspiration with Friends since about the end of February, officially with Morning Inspiration with Friends. So that's something I wanted to put out there. Also, check out my link tree. I have updated my link tree below. I have a boot camp that I'm doing. It's coming up in December 13th and December 20th. 2 days, 6 hours. We're all going over Google Workspace. The reality is, a lot of people do not have access to the resources for Microsoft Office. So I have decided to shift it a little bit because I want people to still know how to utilize documents, spreadsheets, presentation decks. And if you know one, then it's very easy for you to learn the other. So join me for that boot camp. The link is below. I actually have a 2-for-1 right now where you and a friend can take the class for the same price. It is, like I said, this particular version is going to be 2 days, 6 hours. The current version is 4 weeks, 1 hour and a half each class. But yeah, so that is what I wanted to give you an update. But you can check out my link tree and you can get all of the updates that I have going on. So today I wanted to talk to you about something that I kept hearing last week. Last week I kept hearing, do what you're good at. Do what you are good at. And then I heard another message after I heard that download, and the person was talking about so many people missing out on financial abundance increase because they're not doing what they're good at. They're doing everything but what they're good at. So I do think that we need to have this conversation today because one, we're at the end of the year. So a lot of people are really trying to figure out, they're starting to brainstorm what 2026 is going to look like, or whenever you're watching this video, the next year is going to look like. And one, I don't want us to wait until January to do anything because sometimes your new year needs to be today. Your new year might need to be tomorrow. Okay. So I definitely want you to think about that aspect first before anything else. But yeah, so you are good at something, like something that you have never been taught. It is something that comes to you naturally. And that is what I want people to really focus on. What comes to you naturally? What is those natural gifts that you have? And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be really anything physically laboring. It could be writing, right? So many people, I was having this conversation with someone a couple of years ago, and all they kept focusing on was like physical. Well, I can't do this. I can't build. I can't bend this long. Okay, that's great. That's great. What else can you do? What else comes to you naturally? And that person actually was supposed to, like, they were called to be a speaker, like similar to me, speaking to men. If this was a gentleman, and they just kept on shying away from it. You know, they was telling me about what education they didn't have. They were telling me about how much their voice, they don't like their voice. And I totally understand because I hate my voice. I do not like it at all. But when the person stopped making those excuses and took a chance, right, took a leap, they realized that one, they were already operating in that. And that tends to typically happen. You're just probably not paid for it, but you're already doing it. You are already giving people advice. You're already motivating them, inspiring them. It's very natural for you. And what so many people tend to do is they focus on only on the places and the spaces that have already given them financial reward for that. So that's why they don't feel as though it's valuable. They feel as though, no, this is not valuable. No one cares. But if you start to believe and tap into it and tap into that gift and realize that this was given to you naturally, that is a gift. When you are given something that other people just can't wake up and do like you can, that is a natural gift that you do not want to let go of. You want to tap into that. That's one thing that I want us to think about. What is it that we are doing naturally? That's like other people are going to school for, they are paying for degrees, certifications, and you just wake up and you can just do it. That is what I want you to tap into. Your gift is going to feel normal because it is natural, right? So if you are already understanding this natural gift that you already have access to, and it feels normal to you, the only thing that might be happening is that you're not being compensated for it, right? And then when you start getting paid for it, then that's when you see the value. What I want us to focus on is before you even get paid for it, is to see the value in that natural gift, right? That is where your life is going to change. Good morning, Paula. Happy Wednesday, right? That's where your life is going to change. It's going to feel ordinary to you, but I promise you, it's going to be super extraordinary to the people that are going to be connected and impacted by it. So when I started teaching, at first, I didn't think that it was something I was capable of doing. But when I really sat back and reflect, in every position, even back to when I was doing summer youth, when I was a teenager, I was always called to be the person to show, to help people to learn how to do something. I was always that person. Working at the food pantry where we made sandwiches and we learned how to make different delicious meals that she taught us, going to Interscope and becoming the pretty much like they made me the head intern where I had to train all of the college interns because I was the only high school intern. And I had to train all the college interns on office procedures. And when I thought about that in 2010, after I started teaching, it was just like, wow, like this is something that just feels really natural to me. And I remember someone was saying to me, like, well, have you ever like gone to school for education? And I had not. My bachelor's at the time, my bachelor's is in communications, my master's is in business administration. I have no education background, but it was something that I just knew. One, I needed to do it because I needed more money. So I took a class to teach as an adjunct, just simply so that I can pay my bills. Like that was it. I was not looking for a purpose. I was not looking for a calling. I was not looking for a gift. I was looking for a paycheck. And so I walked in there, just my natural self, I was modeling what my teachers, like my favorite teachers, and I just did that and it just worked. And then it just continued to work. And when I went from teacher one class to becoming full-blown, full-time in education and higher education and adult education, and I just realized I was supposed to do this. This is very natural for me. Like, even coming on Facebook and on YouTube in the mornings, people are like, I know people that will be like, I could never do that. Like, I'm so afraid. I'm petrified to speak to people. You just do it so naturally. I understand, and I understood about 2014, this was my gift. This is what God gave me. Even from a little girl, I was the one that was just going home on the weekends because I have an older sister. She didn't want to hang out with me. She's 7 years older than me. My mom she worked 2 jobs. She didn't want to really hang out because she's tired from working all week. And I would sit there with my dolls and my teddy bears and I'm teaching, right? Although I didn't want to be a teacher, I'm teaching my dolls what everything that my teachers taught me that week or something that I felt was interesting. And it was just natural, right? And when that is your gift, like that is the gift that we all are looking for. Everyone is, I hear people say all the time, like, I don't know what I'm good at. But you do know what you're good at. You're just not really identifying it as a gift. You're not identifying it as a way of making money. Is you're not identifying because someone out there has yet to pay you for it. And I guarantee you probably were like me back in 2009, 2010. So life started life in 2009. I was trying to find a new full-time job. And I remember my best friend kept saying to me, why don't you just go be a teacher? Like, go teach, go to one of these community colleges or to one of these trade schools and teach them something. And I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, I've never been a teacher. And she was like, but I can see you doing it. So I didn't see the value. I didn't think anyone was going to pay me because no one had paid me already. And the one thing I always have to remind people, you need the first yes. All you need is the first yes. Once you get in the door, you can figure everything else out. And that's exactly what ended up happening to me. So once I understood, it was like, oh, okay, people really need this. And so, like I said, over the weekend, this conversation of, just the downloads that I was getting from God, and then he was just confirming with the different messages that I just kept coming across. You're good at something. You just don't believe that is valuable. And I'm here to remind you, whatever that one thing is can literally change your life the moment you tap into it. You just got to tap. You got to literally tap into it in order for it to just work out for you. Okay? So you don't see the value in this because you were conditioned not to. Let's talk about that. We have amazing artists, whether they can draw, they can paint, they can sculpt something, dancers. We see people who have these amazing, beautiful gifts that, again, they naturally have them. They might have taken classes so that they can learn the newer techniques, but they know the basis, and that comes from them purely. And someone told you, you can't make a career out of that. You better go get you a regular job. People that don't believe in their own dreams is always going to tell you that what you're doing cannot make money and that you just need to go get a regular job. And I'm here to tell you, some of us were raised to be minimized by other people and stay in that cycle. But somebody got to break free from that. Someone has to eventually say, nah, I can't get paid for this. This is the reason why we can go to museums today and you can see pieces of artwork. And this is not only from the 1800s and the 1700s. There are people who are still tapping into their gifts in the 2000s, 2025. Someone is working on a masterpiece right now that within a couple of days, weeks, or even years, someone's going to pay them for that. But you have to recognize and stop listening to what those people are telling you. Because they're telling you that because no one poured into them. No one tried to help cultivate it. So now they feel as though that the thing that they wake up excited about is not valuable. Right? So when I hear people, I was years ago, I forgot when, I did this program in Brooklyn. It's called Project Superstar. I think they dismantled the program. But I was working with middle school and high school students. And because there was like one group, it was like a family. They had a lot of siblings. The youngest one was in elementary school, but we allowed them to come because they were all together. And we were just all talking. And I was saying to the students, trying to figure out, like, what do they really want? And this is before TikTok. So I forget what the app was called before it became TikTok. I know TikTok purchased this app. It was like one of them dancing apps. Y'all remember what I'm talking about. Them dancing apps, and the kids up there dancing. And we had one young man in there who was really good. Like, he can really dance. And so, I'm encouraging him because that's my place. That's my space. And he was like, Miss, you're the only person that has told me that I have the ability to ever become a dancer. He was like, my mom tells me it's foolishness. My teacher tells me it's stupid. But you're the only person that understands that this can be more. And so I sat and I broke it down just same way I do with my clients, right? My adult clients. You have this one gift. Your mom and your teacher probably only think about you dancing for Chris Brown, but even that's not far-fetched, right? You have people shooting their shot all the time on social media, and I do believe that Chris has actually taken some of those people eventually and joined. They end up joining his team, and they go on tour with him. So that's not truly far-fetched if you really just you're persistent about it. But there's other avenues. So thinking about the teacher, I said, your teacher told you that was crazy? I said, what's amazing is when I was in elementary school, I had a dance teacher. Like we took dance as actual class. There was a dance teacher. How can your teacher tell you that's foolishness? Who is going to teach the future kids in dance? We're going to need a dance teacher, right? So everyone is not going to go and be in Chris Brown and Beyonce on tour with them, but we have some programs out here that are actually paying you a regular salary, right? So it still looks like a regular job. You're getting the regular pay. You're getting that pension if you're working for the city or for a state institution. You're going to get that pension. It's a regular job, but you have tapped into your gifts. Go to any school that has any specialties. So specialties are typically the computer teachers, maybe a science. You might have maybe dance or art. Go to a school like that and talk to those teachers. 9 times out of 10, they're in a happier space because they're doing what they love to do in a different way. But then you go to the teachers who are not doing what they love to do. They're just teaching. They're teaching social studies, and they don't care for social studies. They don't care for history. They really want to be art teachers. But someone already told them that's not going to make you any money. No one's going to pay you. It's worthless. You're wasting your time. And those people don't go after that. So that is one thing that ends up happening. So when you see those kind of teachers, they're the ones that's telling those kids, yeah, you can't do that. Like, that's not going to make you any money. You better go just get you a regular job. That's what they're telling them, because deep down inside, they're not doing and they're not teaching what they truly desire to teach. I was caught in that for a while. Like, I know how that feels. And what I realized, because even God had to correct me, I get annoyed. I was getting annoyed at one time. My job kept giving me the computer classes, right? The Microsoft Office. And you heard me in the beginning. If you joined late, I'm doing a boot camp in December to teach people how to use Google Workspace, because I started with teaching people how to use Microsoft Office. And I used to get so annoyed. I remember I went to my boss one time. I was like, why do you keep giving me Excel? Like, son, like, I don't want to teach Excel. I love communications. You can give me office procedures. Like, I want other classes. She was like, Tanisha, do you know how good you are in teaching Excel? She was like, one, you make it relatable to the students. She was like, everyone doesn't do that. So many people just take the book and they just read from the book and they teach from the book. She said, you look at your class and you figure out who is in my class and how can I make this interesting. And I used to have there was a class, like one schedule where it was only athletes. Imagine college athletes and teaching computers. They don't care nothing about that. They're like, Miss, I'm about to be the next quarterback. I'm going to be drafted. And I'm not a dream killer. But baby, in order for you to graduate, you need to take this class and you need to pass. So what I did was I started to find information and, stats about sports. And now we were using that in Excel, and we were using that to calculate averages, to do sum. So we're doing the same things, but now they're interested because now it's something relatable. And it's like, so they were eager to learn this and to actually start to apply it because it was something that aligned with them. So now I made it relatable. So they probably had the most experience of utilizing these tools in the real world and showing them still, just like I showed that student who wanted to be a dancer, right? You can take this in different avenues. It doesn't have to just be one shot. You can start a dance studio. You can teach you can just, teach little kids. You can teach adults. You can focus on just one style of dancing. Like, people need that. Same thing with athletes. You don't only have to go and play the sport. You could be on the sideline. You could be the person that's working up in the box and you're analyzing the stats. There's so many different avenues, but you have to just understand that this is something that I'm good at. And if someone is helping me to cultivate this, Someone's helping me to make sense of this and seeing how else I can really maneuver this. Right. So when I realized that's why I was running from teaching, because I was thinking about teaching little kids. I don't connect with little kids like that. I don't know. Even when I was a kid, I didn't connect with little kids. There's like a blockage. I don't know why, but I don't connect. But you put me in a class with some adults, it just works. Maybe 16 and up, it just works. It connects, right? Because they have had a little bit of experience. And I think for me, that's what it is. I like to help people to take the experience that they do have and make sense of it and show them, one, you already know this. You are just not familiar with terminology. You're not familiar with the actual process. And I help them to just make sense of it in that way. That's what I feel like my specialty is in that capacity. Right. And unfortunately, I didn't always have those kind of people around me to push me to cultivate that. I had teachers that were telling me when I was in elementary school, you're going to be a teacher. And I was like, you're bugging. No, I'm not. Like, I don't want to do that. But now when I look back, they were the ones that were forcing me to continue to hear this and see it. And then God continued to send more people. Although they were no longer in my life, he was still sending people to now replace that. And they were coming in and they were also pouring and telling me the same things about that same gift, the gift that was like natural. So when you are focusing on what is the last thing I'm going to say before we jump off here, your purpose, the reason why we need you to tap into the things that you are really good at, the things that come to you naturally, I promise you 9 times out of 10, it's going to be connected to your purpose. Most people that I have worked with over the years, when we start talking about what is your purpose, this might be another masterclass I'm going to have, because I haven't done one of those in a long time, helping people to identify their purpose. When we start having those conversations, the number one thing is that they don't know what they're good at. So that's why it's very hard for them to even think that they have a purpose, because they don't even think that they're good at anything, right? They think that they're good at the jobs that they have done. I remember someone saying to me, dear Tanisha, I'm good at being a cashier. And there's nothing wrong with being a cashier. But it's not just the cashier. What are you doing? And when we start to identify what people are actually doing, is it the money management that you're really good at? Is it the customer service that you're really good at? Is it just you just have this personality that you can you walk in the store and it's like you are on? Which part of that cashier do we need to really focus on and cultivate? Because that's what your natural gift is. It's not in a job title. What you're good at is not just in a job title. So this is why I want you, even before you even think about anything else, what am I good at? Because God is not trying to waste anything. So he put something good in all of us. And some of us, we got multiple of them. So that's why when people say to me, I have no way, there's no way, I'm never gonna. No, God gave you a lot. You are super abundant. You're just not tapping into it because you don't see it that way. You don't see it that way because it's not on your resume. You don't see it that way because someone hasn't paid you for it. But I'm gonna promise you, you don't see it that way because you haven't even taken a chance. I was in here 2009, 2010, early 2010, talking about I need more money, and people are telling me exactly what I need to do. And I'm like, I can't do that because it wasn't on my resume. So you know what I ended up doing? I put it on my resume. I mean, sometimes you just got to do something. You got to do certain things. I found one time that someone did call me. Hey, can you come to the church and can you help, some of the seniors to, learn how to use the computer, right? Why is you got, it's called Here. Kind of weird. But yeah, so I just want you to realize, like, you're not going to find your purpose until, like, you literally are not going to find your purpose until you put yourself in that space to start figuring out, what am I good at? Because I guarantee you, Your purpose is connected to that. Your purpose is connected to that. So if you're looking for your purpose, then it's time for you to sit and figure out, what are you good at? Don't think about what people have paid you for. Don't think about that. Don't think about it being on your resume. Don't think about even associated with a title. Just figure out what you're good at and go from there. And I promise you, if you reach out to me, let me put my socials up here so that you can reach out to me, and then we can have a conversation. You can reach out to me on either Instagram or on TikTok. Let's have a conversation. What are you good at? And then we can start figuring out, what is your purpose? But this right now, as you're preparing for 2026, yeah, it's time for you to figure this out, right? So, look, we still have a month and a half before 2025 is over. Think about it this way. Every company is not going to be out for the rest of December. They're not going to take off for the last 2 weeks of the year. There's still opportunities that you can tap into. There are different things that you can still get done right now. All right. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae. We have been here for 26 minutes. Everyone, I thank you. We had a couple of people. I'm liking the different layouts. So StreamYard, I use StreamYard, and they have added the vertical. And I believe that my YouTube people, you might all be coming on from the vertical side. And I appreciate it. The ones out here on the horizontal, I love y'all too. But I'm just trying to get more people here. And as you can see, you say anything, say crazy questions, you will get banned. Yeah, I like that. StreamYard has added that. I could ban people now. Boom. And delete their comments. But yes, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a throwback Thursday. Tomorrow is Thursday. I might come on because I missed Monday, so you might just be able to get a live message from me. I want to kind of finish this conversation, so because there's other parts of it. So right now we just spoke at you figuring out and identifying what you're good at, and there's more layers to it. So I might be here live tomorrow, and if not, join back on Friday for a live message. But tomorrow's message, if anything, is going to be a throwback. It's going to be a good one. Don't trust me. It's going to be a great message. But if you have not liked, you have not subscribed, definitely do. And we'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Central Time. Have a great one, and stay tuned for this message before we head out.
Wow, Tanisha, that was a powerful message. I hope everyone was blessed by today's message. Listen, if you are not tuned in, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Meet us for morning inspiration with friends every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m.-ish CT time. See you next time, friend.